Tyler Perry is staring down a massive 9-figure lawsuit, and the allegations? They're not what most people expected. Just when you think the story is headed one way, it flips into something far more complicated. Music. Perry is back in the spotlight, but this time it's not for a blockbuster film. It's his baby mama, Jalila Bekele, shaking the table. After years of keeping quiet, she's reportedly opening up about what really ended things between them. And trust me, it's far from a clean cut. Word online is that Jalila's hints go way beyond a simple breakup. Allegations of secret identities, hidden preferences, and a lawsuit claiming Perry used harassment and manipulation are already flying. Add in leaked texts, whispers of questionable behavior with male actors, and quiet exits from his inner circle, and suddenly the amicable split starts looking more like an escape plan. With receipts allegedly floating around and legal threats piling up, Perry's carefully polished image could be coming apart faster than anyone thought. And here's the kicker. Perry and Jalila's relationship was always kept in the shadows. No flashy engagement, no public wedding, barely any red carpet appearances. Then out of nowhere, Perry jumps on Instagram, writing, "I'm 51, single, and wondering what the next chapter in my life will look like." That was it. No context. No mention of Jalila. Just silence. The breakup wasn't announced. It was implied. On the record, it was called an amicable split, no bad blood. But the internet wasn't buying that story. People started questioning the sudden, low-key ending. How could a man who built his brand on raw emotional transparency in movies refuse to share any details about his own life? That contradiction alone made folks suspicious.
From what I understand, Tyler Perry was furious over this.
And let's be real, rumors about Perry's sexuality have followed him for years. Any suggestion of him being gay or closeted has always triggered strong reactions from him. But now, with lawsuits, whispers, and leaked receipts, the silence around his private life is making the internet even louder. Some fans believe Perry's long-term relationship with Jalila wasn't just romance. It was strategy, a way to quiet whispers, project a family image, and shield his brand from rumors. For powerful men in Hollywood, being tied to one woman can act as a shield against deeper scrutiny. And online, people called it out bluntly. The relationship looked like a cover. Perry and Jalila never spoke on those suspicions, but their silence didn't stop the fire. If anything, it made it burn hotter. One commenter even wrote, "He's still acting like he likes women. I guess he'll come out like D.A. Brat did." So when the Dixon lawsuit hit, packed with allegations of misconduct and leaked private conversations, people started looking at Perry's breakup in a whole new way. Jalila's exit no longer looked peaceful. It looked like foresight. Like she saw the storm forming and got out before it went public. And here's where the shock goes deeper. The claims weren't just vague accusations. They came with receipts. Dixon alleges Perry pursued him under the disguise of offering acting opportunities. But what followed was late-night texts, suggestive messages, and even unwanted physical contact. The leaked texts, which are now viral, include one that read, "I would fry you. I haven't been touched in months." Suddenly, whispers about Perry's private life weren't just gossip. They came with names, dates, screenshots, and sworn statements. That's where Jalila re-enters the spotlight. If Dixon's claims are true, then a quiet split starts looking anything but random. Maybe she had suspected for years, and this lawsuit only confirmed what she already saw behind closed doors. Rumors online say Jalila allegedly knew about Perry's private lifestyle but stayed silent to protect their son, her own image, and maybe even Perry's empire. And when the lawsuit broke, people noticed one thing immediately. Jalila didn't speak. She didn't defend him. She didn't dismiss the rumors. She just stayed quiet. And to many, that silence spoke louder than words. It felt like she had distanced herself from the storm long before it ever made headlines. Now, what once lived as whispers in dark corners of the internet is being dragged into the light, and it all comes crashing down in this lawsuit. Dixon's court documents lay out a timeline that's hard to ignore. He claims he met Perry back in 2019 at an event, caught his attention, and was asked for his number. Perry allegedly dangled future acting roles, and soon enough, Dixon got the gig. But what looked like a career break turned strange fast. About a year later, Perry allegedly invited him to Atlanta. Dixon thought it was about mentorship, maybe a career boost. Instead, he claims the night ended with too much drinking, sleeping in a guest room, and waking up to Perry touching his thighs. Dixon says he rejected it, but from then on, the dynamic changed. And it didn't stop there. Dixon alleges Perry kept reaching out with even more charged texts. Screenshots flying across the internet include lines like, "No straight man is going on walks or cooking dinner for you unless he wants you. I would you." Another text allegedly asked what it would take for him to have guiltless. And when Dixon looked at the role Perry gave him, a gay homeless man trading for a place to stay, he says it didn't feel like acting at all. He claims it mirrored what Perry wanted from him in real life. According to Dixon, Perry even told him he needed someone loyal, submissive, and fully dependent. At that point, Dixon says he felt trapped in a situation he never signed up for. Dixon says he didn't want to lose his career, but he also didn't feel safe. He claims he tried to set boundaries, telling Perry he wasn't that type of guy, but the late-night messages just kept rolling in. Then came the night that changed everything. In 2020, Dixon says he visited Perry again, and this time, Perry allegedly asked, "Do you like it rough in bed?" before grabbing him by the throat and saying, "Look how excited you just got." Dixon claims he pushed him away and left, but the encounters didn't stop there. According to Dixon, one night Perry allegedly entered his guest room in nothing but underwear, pulled his shorts down, groped him, and whispered, "Relax, just let it happen." Dixon says he quickly shifted the subject to escape the situation. Fast forward to 2024, Dixon filed a complaint with the EEOC, quit the show, and dropped a full lawsuit. Perry's legal team snapped back instantly, calling it nothing more than a shakedown. His lawyer claimed Dixon manipulated the situation to set up a scam. Perry himself, though, he stayed silent, and that silence was deafening, especially to people who now believe Jalila saw this storm forming long before anyone else and dipped out before it exploded. Sources close to both sides suggest Jalila had concern for years. Allegedly, she noticed patterns, late-night meetings, unusually close relationships with male staff, and an emotional distance that kept growing. Some say she became uncomfortable with Perry's secretive behavior, and once whispers of inappropriate relationships started swirling, she decided she was done. Others speculate the breaking point may have been the kind of text now circulating in Dixon's case. Rumor has it Jalila may have seen or heard some of those same messages, ones that cross a line between professional and personal. Combined with the stress of maintaining a false public image, insiders believe it was enough to push her to walk away. And Jalila's silence? It speaks volumes. Gossip blogs claim she's been quietly supportive of the legal process, staying far away from defending Perry or cleaning up his mess. Instead, she's shifted focus completely, leaning into activism, modeling, and raising her son privately. Since splitting from Perry, she's allegedly cut off his entire inner circle, choosing her own peace over the drama. That's why what was once called an amicable breakup now looks more like a calculated escape. And if Dixon's allegations hold up, Jalila may be seen not just as an ex, but as a woman who got out just in time. When the lawsuit dropped, the internet erupted. Screenshots, court filings, and alleged texts started spreading faster than anyone could fact-check them. And like clockwork, social media split down the middle. Some users demanded Perry be cancelled, while others dismissed it all as a setup. One tweet read, "I had no idea Tyler Perry is gay." Another fired back, "This ain't news, he been fruity. The only surprise is that it finally hit court." For some, the conversation became bigger than Perry. It sparked debate about identity, secrecy, and what happens when private struggles spill out publicly. Not everyone was convinced, though some argued the text looked flirtatious, not criminal. One comment said, "Seems like awkward flirting, not predatory behavior. People believe anything about a black man in Hollywood." Others suggested it sounded like Perry mentoring a closeted younger actor in his own awkward way. But just as many stood firmly with Dixon, pointing to the patterns, the casting choices, and the uncanny similarities between his role and his role-life situation. For them, this wasn't coincidence, it was targeted. And once again, Jalila's silence kept getting dragged back into the conversation. Now, the internet can't stop debating. Was her exit graceful, or was it a carefully planned escape? Either way, Perry's silence only fuels the storm. Right now, his name is at the center of the biggest controversy of his career. Maybe Jalila walked away to protect herself, or maybe she was protecting something much bigger. But one thing is certain, the story is far from over. So stay tuned, because the next chapter might be the one that changes everything.